Holo stands for complete or whole, and crinin means secretion. So when the complete cell or complete secretory unit undergoes disintegration or breakdown to release its content or secretion, it is called as holocrine type of gland. Now example, sebaceous gland. So sebum, sebaceous here stands for oil, pseudoreferus stands for sweat. So you need to learn these because you are coming into mainstream of biology now. So sebaceous glands are oil secreting glands in human body, and these sebaceous glands on our skin, they release the content with the help of disintegration of the complete cell. So complete cell undergoes breakdown, and when the cell breakdown, its boundaries are gone. Once its boundaries are gone, the whole oily content would be released outside. Such type of secretion is called as holocrine type of secretion. Now it is merocrine type of secretion or epicrine type of secretion. The secretion with the help of diffusion. So the cell remains intact, there is no breakdown of the secretory unit. So the cell remains intact, cell survives and continue to release content for a long time, because it will release its content by diffusion from its top portion. That's why epi means top or above. So it will continue to release its content by diffusion slowly from the free surface. Example, goblet cell. Example is goblet cell, example is salivary glands cells, example is intestinal gland cells. Now the third one is the apocrine. Now apocrine stands for, apo means top. So the topmost portion of the cell would break. So the whole cell will not break, only a portion of the cell would break. So why it breaks is because secretion accumulates at the tip, and then the tip portion of the cell is going to break, or the tip portion of secretory unit is going to break. As it breaks off, the content goes out. Example, mammary glands, or you can say the milk secreting glands in the case of human. Remember, milk glands or mammary glands are modified sweat glands. So this is how you classify glands. The first category we learned is the exocrine, endocrine. Second category is unicellular or multicellular. Then exocrine glands can be mucus secreting or serous secreting, or it can be both. And then according to the nature of secretion, it can be complete cell finishing, tip of the cell finishing, the cell surviving and content coming out by diffusion. Now the next method of classification of the glands is according to whether the branching is present or branching is absent, or according to the shape of the secretory unit. The shape can be tubular, shape can be flask shaped, shape can be sac-like or balloon-like. So according to branching and the shape of the secretory unit, the glands can be simple or glands can be compound. So what is simple gland? A gland which has a single unbranched duct. So a single duct is there, and then secretory unit is of only one type. So this is the main point why you call it as a simple gland. A gland which has its secretory unit of only one type. And if there are different types of shapes of the cells possible, then it is called as the compound type. It has many branched ducts also. Need to understand one thing. There are books which will mention simple glands having unbranched as well as branched, and then some books will say simply that simple will have only unbranched. So there are various methods, but remember the main point to understand is whether there are different types of cells in secretion or only one type of cell. So if only one type is there, it is called simple. If it is more than one type, it is called compound. So what are the types now? So there are various types of shapes of the cells possible. The shape can be tubular. If the shape look like a tube, then it is called as tubular type of the shape of the secretory unit. If the shape is round, it is called acinus. And if the shape is flask shape, it is called as the alveolar. So three categories are there. Some books will mention only two. Some books call these two things as same. So according to the shape, if only one type of cells are there, it is called simple. If there are more than one type in a gland, it is called as the compound type of gland. Now Let's understand the examples also. So the next is, in the same manner we can have compound glands also of three types: tubular with tube shape, echinus for the round one, alveolar for the flask shape. So now what are the various shapes possible? Let's understand. The shapes possible are these. If the secretory portion is like a straight tube, so straight, it is a simple straight tubular gland. It's a tubular gland. You can see a tube shape is there. Now example is intestine. Your intestinal glands are of this type, but you call it crypts of Leberkuchen. This topic has been removed because this year this chapter has been removed, otherwise I would have covered. The shape will be coiled. It's a tubular one, it's a simple one, but you can see here the shape is coiled, so it is called as the simple simple coiled tubular gland, and the example is the sweat glands. Human sweat glands are basically of this type. Now in this you can see branching has occurred, so it's a simple but it's a branched tubular gland. So why it is branched? Because you can see here these are the secretory portions. Secretory portions are not branched, but the tube has been branched. The duct has been branched. So if the branching of the duct take place, it is called as branched type. So simple, but it is branched duct and it is a tubular shape. Then in this you can see even the secretory portion has been branched. So it is called as a compound, branched and tubular gland. Same manner you can see it's a saccular one, sac shape. Now this is a combination of both, so it can be called as a tubulo-acicular or tubulo-alveolar type, because both conditions are present. I have mentioned the example. Salivary gland is example of this. Mammary glands is example of this. Pancreas also. So these are the various examples I have mentioned along with the various types.